Hey y'all, my name is Alexis Ginsberg. I'm a senior product designer within the plan stage, and I'm going to quickly walk through some ideation around Epic swim lanes. So this probably looks pretty familiar, except for maybe some of these options along the top. One of those is this group by button. The idea being that users can now group their issues in different ways within the board itself. For MVC, we are starting only with epics. So as a user, I'd go in here and I'd say, I want to group my issues by epic. And then I'd see epic swim lanes within my board. So here I'd see that there's 4 issues assigned to this epic, and I could see how they're moving through the workflow, which is pretty cool. The main interaction change I want to point out here is that the entire board would now scroll. Currently, each individual list scrolls, but now the entire board does. That's because, with this added dimension, this added row here, trying to scroll one list it's just not usable. So that's one thing to note. Also, we could perhaps show informational alert along the top here. This would happen in cases when there's many epics displayed within the board, usually probably more than the user would expect to see here. And this would probably mostly happen if a user hasn't scoped down their board properly. So if I haven't scoped down the board, I could potentially see a lot of issues within the open column specifically. And the way we inherit epics, if any of these issues within the open column, let's say we have 300 there, if they have epics assigned to them, then those epics will then show up in the board as epic swim lanes. So let's say I have, an epic assigned to each open issue here, and I had 300 open issues, then I could potentially see 300 epic swim lanes within the board. So we want to guide users there and educate them about why that might be happening and what they could do to fix it if they do want to fix it. The main thing they would want to do is go ahead and scope their board a little further, and perhaps they would also just want to hide the open and closed columns entirely if they're not using them. So I'll get to that in just a second, but for now, I'm just going to say I understand. I don't want to take action on that right away. And another interaction change here would be the collapsing of lists themselves. So often you might see users with collapse open lists or collapse closed lists. Currently, that displays some information about the closed list itself. So when this is not closed, when it's collapsed, I see information about it so that I can then choose if I want to expand it again, and I could differentiate these lists from each other. So we're not really able to do that now because we have these titles here, and the titles could potentially be quite long. And if there's information about a column when it's collapsed, or if the column appears itself, it's going to overlap on these titles. So that won't work. We have to think of a way around that. So a way we could do that is just to let the user know there's more information about that column when it's collapsed, and potentially they could hover to view more information about that list, that column list, and that would help them know, which one they want to expand again. So I'm going to go ahead and expand these. So that is another major interaction change. Similar to that, we would allow users to expand and collapse epic swim lanes themselves. So like I said here, there was many epic swim lanes within the board. Maybe I wanted to collapse them all to get better context and scope of what's going on. I've done that, and now I could better see this bottom swim lane here, which is issues with no epics assigned. And that copy could change, but the general idea is these issues here, they don't have any epics assigned. So that's a good indication to users, whatever action they want to take there, but they always see this information at the bottom of their board in this swim lane. So I'll go ahead and expand that again. And now maybe I want to think about how to scope my board a little bit more so that I could, cut out some of these open issues within this column that maybe maybe I don't really want to see these. I just want to focus on more of my workflow columns. So one way I could do that is by going to the edit board modal, and you'll see this hide labels option is now within the edit board modal itself. It used to be over here as a toggle, but I don't want to hide labels right now. I like them. I just want to hide my open lists, and I also want to hide my closed lists. So I could do that here, save the changes, and now I see only those lists that I care about. I don't see the open list. I don't see the closed lists. And also those issues within each of those lists, they are not pulling in epics anymore. So I see less swim lanes. I see only swim lanes related to the issues I really care about. And again, I see issues that aren't assigned to any epics here. And also, if I want to see this view but without swim lanes applied, I can do that. I just say, I want no grouping. I don't want to group by anything. And I see these two workflow lists again, but I just don't see swim lanes anymore. So that is Epic Swim Lanes general ideation in a nutshell. Thank y'all.